Welcome again, Wildcats. All right, so today we're looking at Tuesday, September 12th, inverse function, and those notes are going to be on page 8. All right, and before we get started, I just want to say hello to all those mothers out there that are watching the video with your child. You're doing a great job. Keep up the great work. All right, so now that your table of contents is updated, let's take a look at our notes. Now, the notes, we're not going to have a new note page. What we are going to do is we're going to come back to your foldable, and we're going to come back to the inverse function tabs, okay? Or tab, not tabs. All right, so let's just review those notes, okay? To find an inverse, okay, you graphically reflect over the y equals x line, or f of x equals x. And to test for an inverse, use a horizontal line test, okay? All right. And then method 2 is algebraic, okay, and I think I use A and B. I don't know if I like A and B. I'm more of a steps person, mathematical steps. So let's use S1, step 1, and step 2. That makes more sense. All right, so step 1, switch the x and y values and resolve for y. Okay, step 2, oh, you know what? They're not steps, they're methods. That's what it is. That's why I put A and B. Method 1, method 2. There you go. Now it's better. Method 1, you switch x and y and resolve for y. Method 2, use composition of functions to determine the inverse. Okay, so f of inverse of x equals x, and f inverse of f of x equals x. Then they're inverses. Now, when they're inverses, domain and range will flip. Okay. All right, so now we're going to use, I believe, method 1 today. Okay, switch x and y values and resolve for y. Okay. All right, so with that, let's move on to the examples. All right. Now, remember, if you watch the video and you watch the example, you stuck on it, put a little note, say, I had a question about this, this is why. You might even follow the steps and stop on the step that you had trouble with, okay? And then you can ask me questions about it in class, okay? All right, so it says find the inverse of the linear function, okay? So to do that, step 1, okay, is switch the x and y. But before we do that, let's go ahead and change h of x to y, okay? Now let's switch x and y. So that's x equals 2y minus 9. Okay, so we switch the x and y. Now, step 2, we're going to resolve for y. So we're going to add 9 to both sides and divide by 2. So y equals x plus 9 divided by 2. Now, if you're a mother or father watching this video right now, notice that I didn't write those 2 steps, okay? And if your son or daughter was in regular Algebra 2, I would write those steps. But part of being advanced is that we talk through steps and then we write every other step, okay? So just understand that's part of being advanced academics, okay? Now, your son or daughter could write the steps that they want. Just know that I'm not going to write those steps, okay? Just because the expectation is that when I teach advanced academics, or any teacher that teaches math, is that you write every other step and you talk them through those steps, okay? All right. Number 2, or example 2, find the inverse of the quadratic function, okay? So first thing, we're going to change h of x to y, okay, step 1. Then step 2 would be to switch the x and y. So that's x equals y plus 5 squared. Okay, so first step is we're going to take the square root of both sides. Now, technically, this is to the 1/2 power squared, and when you multiply exponents in this case, it becomes this becomes the power of 1. So you get the square root of x equals y plus 5. And then subtract 5 from both sides. Y equals the square root of x minus 5. All right, let's look at example 3. Find the inverse of the cubic function. Okay, so first step, and this might be a good time to actually pause the video and see if you can try example 3 on your own. Okay, so pause. All right, now you've tried it on your own. Let's take a look. So h of x is y. Okay, switch the x and y. So x equals y minus 2 cubed. Okay. Now you might be looking, and I'm hoping you've seen the example 2 and example 3 are in essence the same problem, except for here this is cubed and that's squared, but the process is the same. Okay, so you're going to cube root both sides, and then you're going to add 2 to both sides. So you get the cube root of x plus 2 equals y. Now, mathematically that's correct to have the y on that side, but I feel more comfortable putting it on the left. It's more conventional that way. So y equals the cube root of x plus 2. All right, so that should get you set up for Tuesday, September 12th. Remember, if you had questions on these, I'll go over if needed, example 1, 2, and 3. If not, then we'll start on example 4. It just depends on where you are as a student or as a class, okay? So with that, have an inverse of a wildcat day.